I'm Mason Mount. You're listening to the London is Blue podcast.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the London is Blue podcast. As always, your host, Brandon, joined by Nick and Dan, and special guest today, Matt Law of the Telegraph, covering Chelsea, Villa fan, and everything else pretty much going on around Europe. So, Matt, thanks for coming back on the show and joining us.
No worries, my pleasure.
Awesome. Well, kicking it right off, what we're going to be doing is just talking about Chelsea and a lot of different things based on a lot of the things that Matt's done this season. But right away, it's Lampard's first season at Chelsea. It's been a long one, and sometimes I forget it's only been one season. But I guess, how have you kind of viewed Frank's overall first year in charge in the Premier League?
Certainly in the Premier League, I think he's done really well. I remember saying to someone when he was first appointed that if he got in the top four, it'd be an excellent achievement, and that he'd probably be overachieving if he did, given they'd lost Hazard and the transfer ban and whatnot, and having to bring in so many kids. So, look, there's been a few ups and downs in the league. There's been some bad results for sure and some bad performances, but I don't think you can knock what he's done in the Premier League at all. I think he's exceeded expectations. When you look at the amount of youngsters he's brought in, when you look at the value he's added to that squad by doing so, they haven't made a single signing because they didn't end up signing anyone in January. So he couldn't freshen it up, which all of his rivals did. I think he's done a remarkable job.
I definitely appreciated your piece where you referred to his ruthlessness in his first season, and he kind of came back after reading it. How would you maybe just, if you were defining it in one word, how would you define his first season? Is ruthless the way you would, or what's or overachieving?
I don't think ruthless would be the one word. I would certainly, if you were giving me a few words, it'd be one of the words. I think it should be the one word to define it. Crikey, how would I define it in one word? I'd probably say I'd probably use something like optimism. I think he's just given everyone optimism about what's to come. I mean, in itself, he's achieved a lot in this season, but I think more than that, I think everyone can see where he wants to go with it, and I think it's very encouraging for the future if they can just get things right from here on in. I mean, they're going to make mistakes. Every football club does, but if they can make more good decisions than bad decisions, then Chelsea are in a very healthy place with that squad and with what they can add to that squad. So yeah, I'd probably say optimism.
Well, one of the mainstays of that squad is Mason Mount, and we just wanted to hear a little bit more about your thoughts on Mason's first season as a proper first-team Chelsea player. And I think thinking about his season is a 7 out of 10 rating that he kind of self-assessed in your article interview. Is that where you would come in on his performance?
No, I'd go higher than that. I'd have him as my player of the year.
Agreed.
I think was the FA Cup final his 52nd appearance. I think it was 51 before that I wrote. So 52nd appearance, 8 goals in total, 5 or 6 or 7 assists, something like that. Made his England debut in that. I mean, it's an astonishing. I mean, I wrote a piece about in fact, it's the ruthless piece about Lampard, and I referenced his season in Ancelotti's season. Which was his best goal-scoring season. So obviously Mount's got nowhere near that. But in that season, I think Lampard made something like 51 or 52 appearances. So Mount's made the same amount as Lampard was when he was, an established, untouchable, as it were, which I think is incredible. He must have played 4, if not 5 positions. He's played sort of further back in midfield. He's played both flanks. He's played as the sort of one attacking midfielder. He's played as a more reserve box spot. So he's fulfilled so many roles for Lampard. I mean, look, people will say Kovacic is their player of the year, and I get that. I just think Mount, the way he impacts games, the way he starts the press from the front, the goals he scores, a semi-final goal, that goal against Wolves when it was 0-0, which was a huge goal, that he would be my pick. So, I'd be giving him, there's no way he's going to give himself a 9 out of 10, but for his kind of as rookie seasons go, it doesn't really get much better.
Personally been thoroughly impressed with Mason. We were lucky enough to interview him, and just I think he would give himself a 7 because he knows he wants to improve. But to your point, today in this season, it was very well for his rookie season.